And so the clearing process is to first and foremost remember ceremony. So do the clearing in ceremony. So I encourage people to have baths. Epsom salts is really inexpensive. For $3 or $4, you can get a big bag full. And to go into a bath every night in ritual. So put candles in the 4 directions. Call on the Great Spirit. Call on the Earth Mother. And say, I'm so sorry that I have dirtied myself. I've contaminated the treasure of my body. I have forgotten the importance of who I am as a vehicle of Great Spirit. I really ask people right now in this day and age to confess. First step, just confess. Say, I had a whole group of young kids at Entheos last year, and I said, I want you to look around at everybody here and just say, El Stupido. You've been stupid. You've forgotten. And don't be insulted. It's not like sticks and stones may break my bones and names will never hurt me. As the reality is, we're standing on generations of blood. We're standing on generations of bones. We're standing on generations of death. We're standing on generations of all kinds of diseases and disasters and chaos. We've been praying for the Mother to come up and through us. And as it comes up and through us, it hits all of these blockages. And so sometimes what I see people doing in the teaching, they'll go, oh, oh. And when I'm working with recovering cocaine addicts, I realize that when they take a hit, or with LSD, and they take a hit, they're hitting, and I see, and I travel because I'm shaman, I see that the hits are the bullets of the Second World War that killed their ancestors. And they're still hitting. But the deeper causality is the pain in their hearts. And so this is a time of taking a big bath. Everybody take a bath. If there's only one simple thing you can do, you can all do that. But you must journey in that bath with your water. You must be with the water of pure love. And you must say, Mother, clean me. Woman, clean me. I am here in the bath, in the basin of all life. I'm back in the womb. Clean me. And light the fire of my life again. Light the fire of my creativity again. And in the darkness, dim the lights in the bathroom. In that darkness, see your nakedness. Look from head to toes, you're naked like a baby. And confess that you forgot that. So many people are out of their bodies. Not in here looking, oh my God, look, I have this beautiful body. And this is a matrix. And there's 9 systems in this body. The biology is an incredible agenda. The real importance of this one is that you must have a great question. And so when I sat with Most Venerable Namsho Rinpoche at the Dharma Center of Canada in 1999-2000, one day we were doing Vajrayana practice, which is the diamond or the thunderbolt practice. That's why I'm so like this. So we were doing Vajrasattva, and I was new in this lifetime to this teaching. And I heard these people saying the 100-syllable mantra, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Mana blah blah blah, and they went blah 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 blah. And I was sitting in the back seat of their car going, I could never possibly get this. I was conscious of my incompetence. I was aware that I was incompetent in that moment. And so I just had to take a deep breath in and go, no judgment of myself. I'm here for 2 weeks. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to be available to this. And so that became my path to competence. I didn't judge myself. I didn't say they're better than me or I'm lesser than them. I said, I'm here to learn this. Young people need to say, I'm here to learn right now. What is my soul's purpose? Not create aggravation. The pearls of wisdom are only given to those who are humble enough to say, I'm here to learn. I am not willing to argue with young people. I don't have a right or wrong. You don't argue with me, I give you questions. Or I ask you, sit in silence and get your question. Most Venerable Namsho at one point said, during those Vajrayana teaching, he said, I want you to meditate on a great question. And we were 40-some people. And again, I had the opportunity to feel very inferior because I was sitting with almost 40 people who had been with him for 10, 20, 30 years of practice in malas. And I'm sitting there going, well, who am I? But I'm sitting there, I am here, feeling the vibration of his greatness. I am here. I'm courageous enough to be here. I'm courageous enough to be humble and say, I don't know. I'm courageous enough to be humble to say, I bow down low. I must know what this great question is. So the only thing that I have inside of me is me. I go down inside, I follow my breath, I go down to the root of my being, because I came to that situation with many practices as a master teacher. And I allowed this question to rise up, and it came into my heart. And he knew the minute that it came into my heart. And then the man next to me, he said, Namjo, I have a question. And Namjo says, what is your question? And he says, I don't know how to look at women because they all look like Barbie dolls. And Namjo just looked at him like the great lamas all do and said, if you only knew who was sitting beside you. That was the end. And then he looked at me. No question, no words. I said, sir, this is my question. Is there truly one source of all world knowledge? Is there truly one source of all world knowledge? I had prepared eons for that question. I had prayed multitudinous dimensions and prayers, and people had prayed for me to reincarnate, to ask that question. You realize how important the question is in this moment. And then he said, will you be ready for the answer in a day and a half? I said, yes, I'll be ready. And then I looked around and I suddenly realized we were all the suttas and the sutras. We were all the threads woven together. All it took was one jewel to ask the question. It wasn't for me to be the only answer. It would be for me to be the dissemination for everyone else there. That's how important we are head to toes. That's why I don't just remember people. I know the importance of people. I remember that. And so it took me a day and a half to get ready, and I was doing a lot of sun salutations. I was sweating buckets. I went through my terror that I wasn't going to be good enough for the answer. I went through all of this stuff because that's purification. And that's the importance of the question. A question like that purifies you because you have a practice to fall into and fall apart. And then the question becomes how you come together again. And you come together in the essence to the essence of a great master. Essence and essence become one essence. And that's like a homeopathic remedy for stupidity. It's like the remedy for forgetfulness. When you accept that that master is me, essence to essence, I am Namjo. I am the heart of this teaching. And it took me a long time to surrender to that. I am this answer. I am what he's prayed for. That a woman would carry this forward. That this was the end of a teaching, and I am the beginning of a teaching. And I am the beginning in woman form. Om Tat. I'm enlightened. I'm a liberator. I'm Kalima. I'll chop your head if you think too much. You know, I'm all of that. And now I can give that to all women. And men can lie down on their bellies and feel the earth, and I can walk on them. And I can say, I'm helping you. Go back to mother. Not through your birth mother. You have to finish that. Go back to your mother. Go back and lie down. And I'm here to say to the men, stop yelling at boys who cry. Stop thinking that they're not men. They are the real men. No more alpha males. I'm tired of that too. So that's my path, and that's the importance of the question of know thyself. Through questioning, through inquiry, you will know your lineage. You will know by sitting at the roots of pine trees, at banyan trees, at birch trees. You will know who you are. Sit at the foot of a tree, at the Bodhi tree. Sit at the foot of the great trees, the oak trees. Sit at the cedars of Lebanon. Sit at the roots of the trees. The trees contain the truth of who you are. Every single tree, it will take you to the root of your being, and you become the tree of that truth. And you become truth. And that is the one world tree. And that is what Black Elk, as a visionary and a holy one, Oglala Su, he remembered that. And not very many people traveled with him. And so I observe that now. Not very many people travel the whole way home. But it's okay. I'm not attached. I need a potentized field of giving the remedies. And that's why young ones are coming.